Have you ever wanted to add a really slick, professional-looking countdown timer to your B4X apps? Well, you are in the right place. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to build these beautiful, modern timers that look like they took weeks to design, but are actually, as you'll see, incredibly simple to put together.
So, this is what we're shooting for, right? A clean, animated countdown that's just perfect for things like product launches, special events, or maybe just adding a dynamic element to your user interface. It's really all about creating that sense of anticipation, that sense of urgency, but in a way that looks fantastic.
You know, if you've ever found yourself struggling with clunky labels or just fighting with complex layout code trying to get a timer to look just right, then you are going to love this. We're about to show you a much better way.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We'll tackle this in 5 straightforward parts. We're going to start with the big picture, then we'll break down the 2 main components, the container and the blocks. After that, we'll see how to actually put them together, and finally, how to make it all tick.
All right, let's dive right in. To really get how this works so well, we first need to look at its core structure. And honestly, it's elegantly simple.
It really boils down to this simple but super powerful 2-part system. You've got the container, which is kind of like the main frame that holds everything together and controls the overall look. And then inside that, you have the blocks. These are the individual pieces that actually display the numbers for days, hours, minutes, and so on. And that separation is the key to why this is so flexible.
So let's zoom in on the container first and see how it really controls the overall look and feel of our timer. Think of this component as the stage director for the whole show.
You get this really precise control over the entire layout. You know, what if you want your timer to stack vertically instead of horizontally? No problem. Just change the orientation property. Need a little more breathing room between the number blocks? Just tweak the gap. It's all declarative, which means you just say what you want and the component figures out how to do it. And here's where it gets really clever. You can set rounded corners or a shadow effect directly on the container, and those styles automatically get applied to all the little blocks sitting inside of it. This ensures you have a consistent, polished look across the whole timer without having to style each piece one by one. It's just incredibly efficient.
Okay, now for the fun part, the individual blocks that actually show the numbers. If the container is the stage, these are the actors.
So each block is designed to hold one piece of time. The value property is pretty obvious, it's the number it displays. Then you have the digits property, which is super useful to make sure a number like 7 shows up as 07, keeping everything aligned and looking neat. And of course, you can give each one a descriptive label, like days or hours.
And get this, while the container sets the overall style, you can still customize every single block individually. Say you want to make the seconds block a different color to draw a bit more attention to it. Easy, just change its color variant. You can also control the font size and the label position for each block, which gives you complete creative freedom.
So we have the container and we have the blocks. We've got the stage and the actors. So how do we actually put them together in our code?
Well, it's a very logical 3-step process. First, you create your main container. Second, you create all the individual blocks you're going to need. One for days, one for hours, you get the idea. And third, you simply tell the container to add each of those blocks to itself.
And believe it or not, this one little line of code is where the magic happens. This is the command that connects a block to its container. It seems simple, but it's doing a whole lot of heavy lifting for you behind the scenes.
See, the add item method is more than just a simple command. It intelligently integrates the block. It applies all those shared styles from the container, it places it perfectly according to your layout rules like orientation and gap, and it even does some cleanup by making sure it isn't attached to some other view. It's a really smart system.
Okay, so our timer is assembled, it looks fantastic, but it's static. The numbers aren't changing yet. So let's make it tick.
To get that classic countdown effect, we just use a standard B4X timer. We set it up to tick once every second. And each time that tick event fires, that's our cue, our chance to update the numbers on the screen.
Inside that 1-second tick event, this single line of code is literally all you need to update one of the blocks. You just tell the item what its new value should be. That's it.
So you do your calculation for the new number of seconds or minutes or hours, and you just assign it. You don't have to worry about redrawing labels or resizing views or any of that complicated UI stuff. The component sees that the value has changed, and it automatically handles the entire visual refresh for you.
This is such an elegant design, isn't it? It lets you focus on the time calculation logic, the what, without getting bogged down in all the UI update details, the how. You just manage the data, and the component manages the presentation.
So let's just do a quick recap here. We've got a powerful two-part system, a container that manages the layout and style, and the item blocks that hold the numbers. You customize them with simple properties, and then you bring it all to life just by updating the value property inside a timer event. Simple as that.
And that's really all there is to building a beautiful, professional countdown timer in B4X. Now that you see how simple and how powerful this component is, there's really only one question left. What big event will you count down to first?